The weather's turning out perfect. I could not go to football practice today knowing that this is the best day of hunting that we've had all year. This is how freaking stupid I get about hunting right now. We're in neutral. Turn that dude off. I don't want him to even know that I've been here. If I can coast all the way down this hill, I'll walk everywhere I want to go. I just do this for the drive back. I've already seen 2 deer. I walked up on one, he didn't see me. So I had to hurry up and get in a tree, and it backfired on me. I don't have very many shots unless they get super, super close. I don't have very many shots. I certainly don't have many shots I can get on a camera. We're gonna see what happens. They were moving when I came in here. It's 3 o'clock, 15th, that cold front moved in. Meh. I shot him. I shot him. I hit him high and back. He came in on a rattle. I rattled and it wasn't even 5 minutes that 10 point come in here. I hit him high and back. He left with his tail high. He broke my arrow. Motherfucker. He was 10 yards from me right here. And I couldn't get drawn. He come up so fast. I don't think I got any lungs, any vitals. And I didn't get a pass through. If I'd have just got it tighter on his neck. He was 10 yards from me, come right to the fucking rattles. My only hope is that I shot high enough to hit something big in there. So here's the deal. I knew I didn't like the shot, but I knew there was also a chance. So I end up climbing down, finding some blood, grabbing my arrow, about 10 inches of, I think I shoot a 31.5-inch arrow. So in other words, there was a good 20 inches that sunk into the deer. And when I got down, found the arrow, saw the blood, tracked it about 30 yards, I stopped. I called the dog. This was probably around 3:45, 4 o'clock, something like that. I called the dog. They said they could be there about 9:30, 10 o'clock. They ended up getting there at 9:30 that night. So I went back to my tree, climbed back up in there, finished my hunt up in the tree, and had a ton of action after that. We're tracking a deer that I shot at about 3:30 today. We got the bloodhound on it right now, and we are trying to make it down this hill without dying. I hope that we find it. Pray that we find it. It was a bad shot, and I hate it. But now I just want to recover it. Well, the deer wasn't recovered. We tracked that deer. It was about 800-yard walk, but we tracked it to about 400 yards as a crow flies to a swamp. The dog jumped it in that swamp, and it cut out through a field. I did search for it for a couple of days after that because we did have drops of blood up to a good 100 yards before we just solely relied on the dog and the dog's scent. Never found it though. I checked creek bottoms. I went up the river, checked riverbanks, checked every creek along the riverbank that dumped into the river in that area. Never did find the deer. Haven't had it back on camera yet, but I think that there's just as good a chance that that deer is still alive as it expiring. I hit it. I said high and back, and just so you guys know what went wrong, I know what went wrong after really thinking about it, diagnosing my shot and what I did. I had my pin set at 20 yards because I thought earlier in the video I said everything's going to have to get close. There was still a lot of green on the trees. So I knew everything would have to get close and come in. So I set my pin at 20 yards. That buck came in on that rattle real close, within 10. It couldn't smell me because it was still upwind. It visibly saw something it didn't like, and as you can see in the video, it spooked, turned around, and went to about 32 yards before it turned and gave me a broadside shot. What I did was I compensated for that. I overcompensated for the yardage because I found out later that my bow, with it set at 20 yards, I was still shooting 30 yards with only about a 2 to 3 inch drop. I put my pin on the top of its back, and because of how it was quartering, I went just a touch more right. When I shot, the deer had time to probably take a little duck, not much, but a little duck. I ended up hitting that buck right about midsection up toward the top in the upper 6 inches of his back. I knew I didn't spine it. I hoped it maybe that it caught that artery, but it's pretty apparent that that didn't happen because with 5-hour window before the dog got there, if I'd have hit that artery, it would have bedded down somewhere and bled out fairly quick, at least within 5 hours. So anyway, we'll wait and see if that buck shows back up on camera, but I'm hopeful that it made it. It was just a big deer, bad shot, and you hate for that to happen, but it does happen. With that being said, it's on me. I should have taken more shots with my bow and my pin not matching my yardage. And I take a lot of shots. I've got a range out back. I take a lot of shots, but I should have known that with my pin set, single pin set on 20, I should have known exactly where that would hit on my 30-yard bag out there. I should have known where that would hit on my 40-yard because you can't always adjust your dial. Sometimes you have to go on instinct and repetition. So it is completely my fault that I did not already know what my drop was, and that should have been dealt with before the season started. So if there's anything besides the fact that
you learn lessons every time you go. That was an important one for me, because I can tell you just about where my arrow's going to sail high and low when I've got my pin set at too great of a distance versus too short of a distance, versus being able to dial it right in and have the chance and the time to get a range on the deer. So I did a lot more shooting after that, just for that reason. So if there's anything to take off this video, it's get your bow, offset your pins from your target, because you don't always have, I guess, a 4-pin system, there would have been no guesswork. Single pin system and a dial, there was a little adjustment that had to be made, and I over-adjusted. I overcompensated for the yardage, and I definitely learned from my mistake. I appreciate y'all watching the video, especially if you got into it this far. Leave a comment if it's ever happened to you. Subscribe to the channel if you like the content. We'll see y'all in the next one.